Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lepakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 27th of January. US and India can be best partners, says President Obama. Nawaz Sharif government orders probe into power blackout in Pakistan. And India pays last respect to legendary cartoonist RK Laxman. And now for all the details, President Barack Obama on Tuesday said India and the United States can be the best partners. He also evoked the historic and economic ties with the two countries and even a reference to the Bollywood as he concluded his three-day visit to New Delhi. A report.
US President Barack Obama left for Saudi Arabia on Tuesday after a number of high-profile engagements with the political leadership and top business personalities of India. The American president, before his departure, addressed a public meeting of nearly 2,000 Indian youth in New Delhi. Evoking the speech of Swami Vivekananda, President Obama addressed the gathering sisters and brothers of India and said the two countries can have the most defining partnership of the century. He also lauded India's achievements in various fields, including poverty alleviation to space technology. President Obama also noted the contribution of the Indian-American community in holding the bilateral relations intact.
The United States has the largest Indian diaspora in the world, including some 3 million proud Indian Americans. And they make America stronger, and they tie us together. Bonds of family and friendship that allow us to share in each other's success.
He also pointed out that the relations between the two countries will be mutually beneficial.
Of course, only Indians can decide India's role in the world, but I'm here because I'm absolutely convinced that both our peoples will have more jobs and opportunity, and our nations will be more secure, and the world will be safer and a more just place when our two democracies, the world's largest democracy and the world's oldest democracy, stand together.
President Obama and Indian Prime Minister Modi had attended a business conclave on Monday, where Obama promised an investment of $4 billion in India.
Today, I'm proud to announce additional steps, a series of U.S. initiatives that will generate more than $4 billion in trade and investment with India and support thousands of jobs in both of our countries.
President Obama, who became the first American president to visit India twice during his term in office, will feature in a joint radio address to India along with Prime Minister Modi. The show will be aired across India tonight. The historic visit of President Obama, in which he also was the chief guest at India's Republic Day celebrations on Monday, will be most noted for the two countries agreeing on the nuclear liability, something that has been lingering since 2008.
Pakistan has sought the help of US and China to avoid frequent power outages in the country. The Nawaz Sharif government has also ordered an inquiry into the recent blackout which left nearly 80% of the country in darkness for a day.
Pakistan government said power supply has been restored in most parts of the country except Balochistan by late Monday after an outage of nearly 3 days. Pakistan suffered one of the worst blackouts in recent times on Saturday after alleged militants blew up a transmission system in Balochistan, causing the national grid to fail. The breakdown resulted in many urban areas like Karachi, Hyderabad, Sukkur, Quetta, Islamabad and Peshawar plunging into darkness, with hundreds of villages and small towns across the country also affected. Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, who chaired a high-level meeting on Monday to take stock of the situation, has ordered a probe into the possible sabotage causing the power failure.
State installations जो हैं उनके ऊपर भी हमले शुरू हो गए हैं और हमारी कोशिश है कि ये state installation जो है उनकी security जो है वो बेहतर बनाई जाए. हम इस सिलसिले में जो एक इंक्वायरी हमने ऑर्डर की है, MD नेस्पाक जो हैं वो इंक्वायरी करेंगे और अगले 48 घंटे में वो रिपोर्ट सबमिट करेंगे.
Asif also said Pakistan has sought the help of its neighbor China and the US for technical assistance to isolate the national grid in case of any terrorist attack to avoid complete blackouts. The country is going through an acute power and fuel shortage for a week now, virtually paralyzing normal life. Energy deficit Pakistan is heavily dependent on China and India to light up its cities. Prime Minister Sharif, who campaigned in the 2013 general elections with the promise of solving the power crisis, has failed to make any solid progress so far.
Australia has promised a $300 million financial assistance to war-torn Afghanistan. This comes during the visit of Australian Foreign Minister Julie Bishop to Kabul.
Australia said it will continue its support to Afghanistan and will assist in its rebuilding process. Australia's Foreign Minister Julie Bishop, who arrived in Afghan capital Kabul, met President Ashraf Ghani on Monday. President Ghani has reportedly urged Bishop to reconsider the deadline for troops' withdrawal from the country. The Australian Foreign Minister also held a separate meeting with Afghan Chief Executive Abdullah Abdullah. Bishop said her country is committed to working towards securing peace, stability and increased prosperity in the people of Afghanistan. She also announced an economic package of $300 million for the country in the next 2 years.
Australia has contributed around $1 billion in assistance over the years, and between 2015 and 2017 we will contribute $300 million to assist you in engaging with the private sector, enhancing economic opportunities and building the infrastructure that is so necessary for your economic growth.
Australia, which had around 1,650 troops in Afghanistan, ended its combat mission in 2013. At present, only a small contingent, some 400 Australian troops, remain in Afghanistan.
Pakistan government had promised to crack down on all terrorists in the country. The relatives of those killed in the Peshawar Army school attack feels nothing much has been done so far. They took to the streets demanding punishment for those behind the most heinous attack in the country's history.
Many in Pakistan feel that their government has let them down yet again, doing little to bring the terrorist who planned and executed the Peshawar attack to justice. Dozens of protesters, including school children, took to the streets of Lahore on Monday seeking an end to the ever-increasing terror trail in the country. They also held a symbolic hanging of the terrorists as a mark of protest. The protesters demanded a public hanging of those involved in Peshawar school massacre.
हमका ये मुतालबा है कि इन दहशतगर्दों को, जो हमारे बच्चों को जिन्होंने शहीद किया पेशावर में, जिन्हें हमारे भाइयों को शहीद किया है, उनको फांसी दी जाए। और हम लोग फांसी की सज़ा के खिलाफ थे, लेकिन हम इन दहशतगर्दों के लिए इसकी पुरजोर हम लोग बल्कि तईद करते हैं कि इन दहशतगर्दों को जो है सज़ाएं दी जानी चाहिए, क्योंकि इनके अलावा इनका कोई इलाज नहीं है।
Pakistan witnessed its biggest terror attack last month when 6 heavily armed men stormed into an army school, opening indiscriminate fire. At least 142 people, including students and staff members, were killed. The Taliban, who claimed responsibility, said that it was in retaliation to the ongoing Pakistani army crackdown in Waziristan.
Gilgit-Baltistan has been rocked by a rising tide of violence. Target killings are on the rise and local administration has been accused of not doing anything to stem the situation.
The law and order situation in Gilgit-Baltistan is worsening by the day. Pakistani security apparatus has been fostering sectarianism in order to retain its stranglehold on the Himalayan region. People blame Islamabad's agencies for fomenting target killings to keep the people of Gilgit divided. Many said Pakistan has been nurturing several terror outfits in the remote region.
जब तक हम इन बेगुनाह सिविलियन के कातलों को तख्तेदार पर नहीं लटकाएंगे, उस वक्त तक आवाम को इत्मीनान नहीं मिलेगा और उस वक्त तक इंसाफ के तकाजे पूरे नहीं होंगे। लिहाजा इसके साथ साथ इन मुल्ज़मान को जो है वो तख्तेदार पर लटकाना चाहिए, जबकि हमारे पास ये इतला मिली है कि अब उन मुख्तलिफ कातलों को जो लेकूनास प्रोवाइड किए गए इन्वेस्टिगेशन के जरिए से, उसके नतीजे में उन्हें अदालतों से रिहा कर दिया गया है या बेल्स कर दी गई हैं। ये बहुत खतरनाक है और अभी भी कानून की बात शिकू पर अमल नहीं हो रहा है। जिनमें से जो कल अदम जमाते हैं वो अभी भी एक्टिव है और ये लोग उन्हीं की प्रोटेक्शन के अंदर दोबारा से कार्रवाई कर रही हैं। ये बहुत खतरनाक है, अफसोसनाक है।
The hitherto peaceful region of Gilgit has seen a sudden spurt in kidnappings and killings. People call it a plot by the Pakistan agencies to stop any call of nationalism in the illegally occupied land. Locals say the assembly discussing law and order has members chosen on sectarian lines and is in no position to effectively counter this growing menace.
जहाँ तक गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में अमन और अमान का जो मसला है, अमन और अमान के हवाले से जो मसाइल आजकल सामने आ रहे हैं, ये कोई नई बात नहीं है, बल्कि काफ़ी एक अरसे से यहाँ पे अमन अमान के हवाले से बहुत सारे मसाइल जन्म ले रहे हैं और फिर क़वाराना तशद्दुद के नाम पे लोगों का कत्ल आम का एक सिलसिला जारी है। जो नाखुशगवार वाक़यात है, इनमें कई गुना इजाफा हुआ है, जिनमें मुख्तलिफ मकामात पर जो नाखुशगवार वाक़यात के रुनुमा होना और इनमें लोगों की जो कीमती जानें हैं उनका ज़ाया होना काबिल अफसोस बात है।
Hussain also said whenever any culprit is booked, it only serves Islamabad's personal interests.
अभी तक जिन दहशतगर्दों को सजाएं सुनाई गई हैं सिर्फ उन पर हैं जिन्होंने आर्मी चीफ पे हमले किए थे या मसलन जिन्होंने पाकिस्तान के मिलिट्री फोर्सेस के ऊपर हमले किए थे। ये बहुत मुस्बत है।
The remoteness and the iron cloak thrown by the Pakistani security apparatus makes it impossible to access the impenetrable areas in Gilgit-Baltistan.
Legendary Indian cartoonist RK Laxman was cremated with state honours on Tuesday. The creator of the iconic Common Man political cartoons breathed his last late on Monday.
Eminent cartoonist RK Laxman was cremated with state honours at his hometown in western Pune on Tuesday. People from all walks of life joined in the grieved family and attended his last rites. The body of Laxman was also placed near the Common Man statue for public to pay their respects. Laxman's pocket cartoon, You Said It, immortalized the hapless common man with his devastating swipes at politicians through many years. The legendary artist passed away at the age of 94 on Monday at a Pune hospital after suffering multi-organ failure. Condoling his demise, Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis said, the common man character which he created will live forever.
It's indeed a very sad moment that RK Laxman ji has passed away. He was not just a mere cartoonist, but he always had something to say through his cartoons, and his demise has created a void. But I would like to say that although he has passed away, the common man which he has created will live forever and will be a guiding force for any political regime.
Many felt that his death will leave a void that cannot be filled.
मुझे लगता है कि आरके लक्ष्मण का जाना एक बहुत बड़ा लॉस है हिंदुस्तान की कार्टूनकारी के लिए, दुनिया की कार्टूनकारी के लिए, और मुझे लगता है कि पत्रकारिता के लिए और हिंदुस्तान की मुझे लगता है कि इतने बड़े एक आइकॉन का चले जाना हिंदुस्तान से, दुनिया से, एक बहुत बड़ा लॉस है। आरके लक्ष्मण साहब से यूं तो मैं बचपन से ही उनके कार्टून्स देखता रहा था और उनके कार्टून्स को देखे बहुत कुछ सीखा है मैंने।
Laxman was awarded great honours like the Padma Vibhushan in 2005 and the Magsaysay Award in 1984 for journalism, literature and creative communication arts. Laxman is survived by his wife and a son. He is also the brother of legendary Indian English author RK Narayan.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. US and India can be best partners, says President Obama. Nawaz Sharif government orders probe into power blackout in Pakistan. And India pays last respect to legendary cartoonist RK Laxman. Now viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.